He's 3 weeks into a streak, energy surging, mind sharper than it's been in months. Then the crash hits, motivation flatlines, clarity vanishes, progress stalls. He wonders if retention actually works, or if it's just another online myth. The confusion comes from missing one critical piece. Sexual energy doesn't build linearly. It transforms through deliberate direction, not passive accumulation. Understanding the mechanics behind that transformation changes everything. In 1937, Napoleon Hill published what would become one of the most controversial chapters in self-help history. Chapter 11 of Think and Grow Rich carried a provocative title, The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. The chapter wasn't about relationships or physical intimacy. It was about power, specifically, how to harness the most potent human drive and redirect it toward achievement. Hill spent 2 decades studying over 500 successful men, from Thomas Edison to Henry Ford to Andrew Carnegie. A pattern emerged. The most accomplished individuals channeled their sexual energy into creative work, rather than dissipating it through constant physical release. Hill called this process transmutation, switching the mind from thoughts of physical expression to thoughts of creative output. Here's what transmutation actually means. Sexual energy exists as a powerful force in the body. Hill viewed it as the strongest natural motivator humans possess. Most men let this energy discharge through the obvious path. Hill proposed a different route: conserve it, then consciously redirect it, not through suppression or denial, but through deliberate mental focus. The energy doesn't disappear. It transforms into fuel for ambition, creativity, and what Hill called genius-level thinking. Thomas Edison sits in his lab at 2 in the morning. A new filament design occupies his mind completely. His body hums with energy, not nervous energy, but something focused and intense. He's been celibate for months during this invention phase, not from moral principle, but from total absorption in his work. The sexual drive still exists, but it flows into his hands as he shapes materials, into his mind as he calculates ratios. He doesn't think about restraint. He thinks about light. The energy that could create life instead creates innovation. 3 hours later, he has his breakthrough. The mechanism works through conservation and channeling. When you retain sexual energy rather than constantly releasing it, that force accumulates. Your body still produces it, but without regular discharge, the energy seeks other outlets. Through willpower and deliberate thought direction, you can funnel this intensity into focused work. The same drive that pushes toward procreation pushes toward creation of other kinds: business ventures, artistic projects, physical training, problem solving. Here's why this transformation occurs. Sexual energy heightens all mental and physical states. When redirected, this heightened state shows up as sharper focus, increased charisma, and sustained motivation. Men who practiced transmutation reported feeling more alive in daily interactions. Their clarity improved. Their personal magnetism, the quality that makes others pay attention, strengthened noticeably. Hill drew from psychology of his era, particularly the concept of sublimation, redirecting base drives toward higher purposes. He studied psychoanalytic ideas, but translated them into practical application. This wasn't theory. Hill documented real cases of men who used transmutation to fuel their rise. 2 critical clarifications matter here. First, transmutation is not simple celibacy. Celibacy means abstaining. Transmutation means converting. The energy must go somewhere specific, directed by conscious intent toward a definite goal. Second, Hill didn't claim mystical biology. He claimed psychological leverage, using the mind's most powerful drive as motivation rather than distraction. Understanding this foundation changes how men approach their energy. Instead of viewing sexual desire as something to satisfy or suppress, they see it as raw material. The question shifts from when to release to where to direct. That shift in perspective opens the door to practical application, the specific techniques that make transmutation work in modern life. Foundation established, mechanism clear. Now translate understanding into daily tactics that create observable change in energy and focus. The foundation is set. Now comes the practical work, converting that understanding into daily action. Hill's transmutation method follows a clear protocol that any man can implement immediately. The core process has 3 steps. First, recognize when sexual energy rises. This isn't about shame or suppression. It's about awareness. When desire surfaces, the body produces a specific sensation, warmth in the lower abdomen, heightened alertness, restlessness. Most men immediately move toward release. Transmutation starts by pausing at that moment. Second, redirect the energy through visualization. Hill called this switching the mind. When sexual thoughts appear, deliberately shift your mental focus to a specific goal. Not vague wishes, but concrete targets. Closing a business deal, solving a technical problem, creating artistic work, building physical strength. The key is specificity. The more vivid the goal image, the more completely energy flows toward it. Third, use autosuggestion to reinforce the redirection. This means talking to yourself with intention. Silent or spoken phrases work. This energy fuels my project. This drive builds my business. The repetition trains your mind to automatically channel desire toward productive ends rather than physical release. A software developer hits a coding block at 3 p.m. Frustration builds. Underneath it, sexual tension simmers. He hasn't released in 8 days. The urge to browse, to distract, to discharge pulls at him. He feels it in his chest, his fingertips. Instead of opening a new tab, he closes his eyes for 30 seconds. He pictures the algorithm working, sees the code compiling clean. The energy shifts. His hands return to the keyboard. 2 hours later, the problem breaks open. The solution was there all along, but only focus revealed it. Daily practices sustain this process. Hill recommended 10-minute morning sessions. Sit quietly, visualize goals in detail, and consciously direct sexual energy toward those images. Journaling accelerates progress. Track when energy rises, how you redirected it, and what results followed. Patterns emerge quickly. Physical exercise amplifies transmutation. Your body naturally channels excess energy into movement. Weight training, running, martial arts, all provide outlets that don't dissipate sexual drive, but transform it into strength and endurance. Time and again, consistent practice rewires automatic responses. Within weeks, redirection becomes instinctive. The observable benefits compound over time. Decision-making sharpens because mental clarity improves when energy isn't constantly depleted. Charisma strengthens in social settings. People notice the difference in presence, in eye contact, in vocal tone. Motivation sustains longer because the same biological drive that pushes toward procreation now pushes toward achievement. 12 months into practice, A man walks into a negotiation that will determine his year. He's retained energy for 60 days straight, redirecting it into preparation, research, strategic planning. He sits across from 3 executives. His voice doesn't waver. His posture doesn't shift. When they press on price, he holds silence for 5 full seconds. Most men crack at 3. They blink first. He leaves with terms 15% above his target. The energy he conserved didn't just prepare his mind. It changed how he occupies space. 2 critical clarifications prevent failure. Transmutation requires active effort, not passive abstinence. Simply avoiding release without redirecting energy leads to tension and irritability, not power. The energy must go somewhere purposeful. Second, transmutation enhances sexuality rather than suppressing it. Men report deeper connection in relationships because energy isn't wasted on constant discharge, but saved for meaningful intimacy. Results vary individually. Some men notice changes within days, sharper mornings, stronger workouts. Others need weeks to feel the shift. Consistency matters more than perfection. Even partial redirection builds the neural pathways that make transmutation automatic. This protocol isn't theory. It's a daily practice that turns biology into advantage, transforming the body's strongest drive into fuel for every goal that matters. Understanding the process gives you the map. Applying the protocol builds the power. This week, test the 3-step process. When desire rises, pause for 30 seconds. Close your eyes. Picture your most important goal in vivid detail. See yourself completing it. Feel the satisfaction. Then say aloud, "This energy fuels my progress." Track what happens over 7 days. Drop your biggest energy shift in the comments. Hit like if transmutation clicked for you. Subscribe for weekly tactics that turn biology into advantage. Your drive becomes unstoppable when you direct it deliberately.